half of all those referred to the government's de-radicalised programme Prevent over the last 6 years have been under the age of 18. So do you think Prevent is effective, and is it saving lives? Let's dive into this a bit deeper, but in the meantime, please like, drop a comment and subscribe for more videos on Orange Room cases.
The faces of children convicted of terrorism. The front line in the war on terror is not just policing, it's a battle for minds. And the people fighting it say it's getting more complex.
Often there will be a pick and mix of different ideologies. You know, we're aware of people looking at the incel culture and then mixing that then with some far right elements.
I'm working with a guy at the minute, and he's a young Muslim, but he does idolise Hitler.
And just looking at terrorism, 1 in 5 of all our arrests is now a child under the age of 17.
On the Prevent website are videos of real stories.
Did you ever stop to think how hard the choices you made would be on me, Mum, and your friends?
People worried that someone has thoughts that could lead to terrorism can refer them to Prevent's de-radicalisation programme.
You were so angry all the time.
Concerning cases are passed on to intervention providers who often have a past in extremism themselves.
I could see you were unhappy and worse, out of control.
I was recruited in Birmingham at school, and it all started by somebody giving me a leaflet outside my school gates, and it told me an horrific story about a mom getting killed in an IRA bomb explosion. And at the end of the leaflet there was a call to action which said, if you think this is wrong, then do something about it.
Nigel went from hating the IRA to joining and organising neo-Nazi groups, including terrorist group Combat 18.
I even then embraced a racial religion which had a slogan called Rahowa, and Rahowa stood for Racial Holy War. So at the very end I thought I was either going to go to prison or I would end up being hurt or even killed because of my political beliefs. So for me the cause was everything. It was
you willing to hurt other people?
Yes, sadly.
He now helps divert others away from extremism. What's the youngest you've dealt with?
So the youngest individual has been 9 years of age, and that was a really sort of difficult case for me to deal with. But he was actually being recruited and groomed by his older brother, and he was being shown neo-Nazi video games, and his older brother was saying, you know, when I go to prison or when I get in trouble, then you're the next generation, you're the one who needs to continue the fight. Really, he had no interest in the racist games he was being shown to play. He just wanted to impress his brother, and he wanted to be loved by his brother.
Over the last 6 years, 50% of referrals to Prevent were children under the age of 18. Home Office figures show 11 to 15-year-olds alone make up a third of total referrals, averaging just over 2,000 a year, with the figure rising. And every year, nearly 300 children who are 10 or younger are referred to Prevent.
Personally, I think it's a misplaced desire to do something effective. It's to matter, it's to make a difference.
How many people?
Abdul is not just an imam.
أيها الأحبة في الله.
He is an expert in de-radicalising extremists for Prevent.
It's not a religion which encourages violence, nor do we propagate hatred of others. We spread peace and we try to bring tranquility.
He says with Islamic extremism, events abroad are often catalysts. 10 years ago it was Syria, more recently the conflict in Gaza.
I think it gives them a voice, it gives them a camaraderie, it gives them a sense of belonging as well, because a lot of people, they look for a sense of belonging. And if you join a group, then you feel part of something bigger than you.
What do you offer them in return, if you like, to get them away from that?
Understanding, the context. What the extremists offer, they offer them false hope. So what we do in the sessions is we give them reality, context-based reality. You're not here to change everything, so we quote the correct religious texts, we explain their responsibility as a Muslim living in the UK. We redirect their energies into something more constructive.
parents instinctively know when something doesn't feel right, when their child is becoming withdrawn or isolated, not wanting to engage.
Prevent wants parents to talk to their children and find out what sort of things they're consuming online and act early if they're concerned.
I don't really like to say report to Prevent, because you're not reporting a crime, but you are seeking support in relation to a concern. So I would say the earlier that you can come in and speak to us about the concerns that you have, the better.
Teenager Rhiannon Rudd took her own life having been radicalised by white supremacists. Her mother referred her to Prevent after she downloaded a bomb-making manual. She criticised police and MI5 for charging her autistic daughter with terrorism offences. The coroner found failings, but nothing attributable to Rhiannon's death.
Let's say I'm a parent and I can see that my child might be being radicalised, but the last thing I want is them on some MI5 watch list. What would you say to me?
I would say they're not going to be on some MI5 watch list. They might be if they actually commit an offence. So my advice to you would be act early. Prevent is just that. It is a pre-criminal space.
Prevent has been criticised for failures, such as when Southport killer Axel Rudikabana failed to be recognised as needing intervention, or when MP David Amos's killer Ali Harbi Ali went through the programme and killed anyway. It's harder to quantify its successes.
I really wish that Prevent was around when I was a young, lost 15-year-old, because there was nothing around then. It's about listening to people, offering that chance to open up, and then engage, and then getting them away from extremism.
I guess how do you quantify that you've prevented something? It's difficult, isn't it? That's why it's called prevent. But I understand that when something goes wrong, it's highlighted straight away.
Yeah.
From what I have done, it's been very meaningful, very fulfilling.
Do you think you're saving lives?
I think so, yeah. I think so.
I've sat with parents whose children have gone on to commit the most horrendous crimes, and they all spotted something. And now, with hindsight, they wished they had done something or acted early. So that's why we created this programme, because we know that the rate in terms of radicalisation can happen in days to weeks. So therefore, it is imperative that people act early.
Despite her criticisms, Rhiannon's mother said she would use Prevent again, saying it's better to get help than to do nothing. Jason Farrell, Sky News.